Hi, I'm Hannah Barnes. I ride for Canyon Sham Racing Team. Welcome to the Voxwomen show.
Coming up on this month's show, we take a closer look at Lisa Brennauer's race-winning bike. We bring you all the action from the inaugural Women's Tour of Scotland. Plus, Katie Archibald shows you what goes into her kit bag. But first, let's head to the Netherlands for the European Road Championships. It was a sunny day in Alkmaar, but one where the wind would undoubtedly play a role. Conditions home favourites the Dutch favour. The course? Well, 115 kilometres on a flat, but technical 11.5 kilometre circuit. With 8 laps to go, the peloton had been whittled down and a gap had appeared between two key groups, with the German team setting the pace at the front, presumably for their sprinter Lisa Klein. With 76 kilometres to go, Amy Pieters attacked, bringing Elena Cecchini and Lisa Klein with her. With the Netherlands, Italy and Germany represented, this was a dangerous move. The gap crept out as the teams failed to cooperate behind, and it was soon just under 2 minutes, as the wind continued to play havoc with 36 kilometres left to race. The British team put an effort in to try to close the gap to get something from the race, as the elite trio toiled out front with their noses in the wind. In tactics similar to last year, the Dutch started to pull on the front with 20k to go, aided by the Germans, multiple world champion and in-form rider Marianne Vos pushing the pace. The breakaway's advantage dropped to just 1 minute 21 and 51 seconds with 12k left to race. But despite the efforts, as crosswinds hit and the race entered the final 10k, it was still hovering around 1 minute, as the peloton realised they had left it too late. Anna Henderson and Lottie Becker surged with 4 kilometres to go, but the peloton would be left frustrated as their efforts proved in vain. The gold medal and European champions jersey would be decided up the road between Klein, home favourite Pieters and Cecchini, the Italian just coming back from a broken wrist sustained in the Women's Tour. As the race entered the final kilometre, Klein led the trio out, with Pieters prowling on her wheel. The Dutchwoman jumped first, gapping her breakaway rivals. Her power was too hot to handle, and she won by a bike length over the Italian Cecchini, with Klein claiming bronze for Germany. A win for the Dutch on home soil. You could see just how much it meant for the team at the finish line. The Dutch won the sprint from the peloton too, with Lorena Wiebes finishing 4th. British national champion Alice Barnes clinched 5th.
It was a really hard day. We were early in the race with the whole national team. We started in the first lap and we kept going. And yeah, it's really special, especially it's close to my home. So it's a good win.
And so Amy Pieters is crowned European champion on home soil.
Hello and welcome to Rollin' with the Tour, presented by Visit California. My name's Hannah Walker, I'm here with Voxwomen, and I'm joined by four-time world champion Lisa Brennauer of WNT-ROTOR Pro Cycling. Lisa, 2 bikes here. Why have you got 2 different bikes?
Yeah, I had the possibility to bring 2 different bikes with me for the different stages. So I have here my Orbea Orca Aero, which I'm racing on today because it's a bit more flat stage, and it's a super aerodynamic bike, and I think it's the perfect bike for this kind of more flat stage. And I like the bike because it's stiff and it's very responsive and moving straight forward. So I think it's something you need for today's stage. Whereas tomorrow we're gonna climb a lot. So I had a chance to bring my other bike, also Orbea Orca, not the Aero version. It's less weight, and if you go out of your saddle, it feels more agile, and you can climb easier. It's just a different type of bike, and gives you different feedback, and I think it will suit the climbers stages for the next 2 stages better, and I hope I can support my teammates for a longer time.
So the 2 main differences with these bikes, apart from the frame, we can see we've got different wheels here. One's a deeper section wheel, one's shallower. What's the reasoning behind this?
Yeah, also this I chose depending on the circuit, and so the high wheels are a bit more aerodynamic, so I hope to go faster, and also if it comes to a sprint here, it will give me more support in my strengths, whereas tomorrow you want lightweight. We have to climb a lot tomorrow, and so it's a lot about the weight of the frame, and that's why I choose the lighter wheels that are lower rims.
Well, Lisa, very best of luck for today and the rest of the Amgen Tour of California. Have a good one.
Thank you very much.
Hello and welcome to day 1 of the inaugural Women's Tour of Scotland. They say come rain or shine, your spirit will never be dampened by the weather here. And the 89 riders from 16 teams will be hoping that old adage rings true. Over the course of the next 3 days, some of the sport's greatest riders, including local favourite Katie Archibald, will be battling it out for a chance to win the leader's overall jersey and become the race's first champion.
I'm Katie Archibald. I'm here riding with Scottish Cycling, and I'm going to show you the stuff I have in my bag for race day. I think my favourite thing is my new fancy glasses. These are brand new, so they're all totally not chipped and shiny still, you know? So this will be my first race in my new glasses, which I'm really excited about. I mean, sure, there's competition at play, but you've got to look good as well. It's going to be really annoying that it'll be rainy and I'll have my overshoes on. So I had a friend painted my shoes for me. I've stolen my dad's Di2 charger. I forgot mine. Do not tell the mechanic. The mechanic sent so many little reminders. He's going, I've only got 1 charger, so of all 6 of you turn up without your bike's charged. And
Charge the bike.
I have the charger, so I will charge it, just not yet. This is on my bag because it's still drying off. My boyfriend had used it, borrowed it this morning, and so I said, can I have the heart rate strap back? And it was like soaking, dripping wet, and I was like, oh, thanks. So I got that. What I'm good for is I always have loads of tissues. I have emergency tinfoil. It's just I don't like chucking stuff away, and I never go anywhere without a fork and a spoon. I've got you know that way we always keep hair bubbles and tampons just everywhere. The whole bag is filled with hair bubbles and tampons. And to prove that I'm a celebrity, I carry around a Sharpie. I guess the proudest item is my Scottish Cycling jersey. I've come up early and I've been with my mum and my family and friends and that, sensing their excitement about the race coming to Scotland and being on their doorstep, and to be riding in Scottish kit on Scottish roads. What I think is going to turn into an historic race is very special.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this. Now it's time for the Women's Tour of Scotland. On paper, the route for Stage 1 to Dunfermline was 103 kilometres, with 2 Event Scotland Queen of the Mountain climbs and 3 Motorolo sprints, as well as a punchy uphill finish. Hardy Scottish souls lined the start to wave the 89 riders off from Dundee, braving the wind and rain, which would very much become the story of the day. Having crossed the Tay Bridge and through Kilometre Zero, the first ever Women's Tour of Scotland was officially underway. The first intermediate sprint, 20.8 kilometres in, saw Marjolein van Geloof of Ale Cipollini pick up a maximum 5 points, with Leah Thomas in second and Danny Christmas fighting for third. As Bigler attacked on the first climb of the day, the Grange of Lindores, Olympic and world champion Katie Archibald had an inopportune mechanical problem and needed to stop for a rear wheel puncture. Meanwhile, at the front, Cecily Uttrup-Ludwig, who recently finished third at La Course, summited the climb first, while her teammates were hot on her tail in second, third and fifth. And it was not until the Falklands sprint that we saw Archibald rejoin the peloton. At the head of the race, Slovenian national champion Eugenia Bujak made a break for it for the second Motorolo sprint. Bigler's Michaela Harvey crossed the line second, with Italian Chiara Conzoni of Valcar Silence in third. But as the rain continued to pour and with reports of standing water ahead, the chief commissaire and race director made the correct but tough decision to stop the race at 62 kilometres in the feed zone and ultimately cancel the stage.
Basically, a lot of standing water, kilometres of it sometimes, varying in depth from 8 inches to 6 feet. The race is all about the final climb here and a big descent into Dunfermline, and the road very broken up. The water actually breaking up the tarmac surface, and then one section massively deep. So there was absolutely no choice really. The safety of the riders is key. You can come off here, break a collarbone, and you're out for the rest of the year. So we didn't want to do that.
Despite the weather and lack of a race finish, there was still a crowd waiting to welcome the riders home in Dunfermline. That scintillating attack on the first climb of the day earned Cecily Uttrup-Ludwig the Event Scotland Queen of the Mountains jersey.
It's a pity that we needed to cancel it, because I think also for the second GPM was going to be really exciting for the race. And I see, also the finish here would have been amazing, and lots of people coming out to cheer. It's the way it is, and we are looking forward to tomorrow.
Stage 2 took the riders from George Square in Glasgow all the way to Perth. At 139 kilometres, it was the longest day in the saddle. With 3 chances of sprint points on offer, the real talking point would be the Event Scotland Queen of the Mountain climb, coming just 45 kilometres into the race, over the beautiful and imposing Duke's Pass. As they headed north out of the city and through Kilometre Zero, Stage 2 of the Women's Tour of Scotland was officially underway. The first intermediate sprint came at 37.8 kilometres in Aberfoyle, and it saw home favourite Nia Evans take the maximum 5 points for Scotland. Lotto Soudal's Annalise Dom was in second, and Valcar Silence Cycling's Chiara Consoni in third. And then it was straight on to the grueling 4-kilometre Queen of the Mountain climb, Duke's Pass, at 45 kilometres raced. The views were spectacular, although the riders wouldn't have had much chance to appreciate them as the pace surged up the steep gradients. Queen of the Mountains jersey leader Cecily Uttrup Ludwig was the first to the top for the maximum 8 points. Elise Shabby of Bigler was in second, and Jocelyn Loudon of Drops in third. The tough climb created huge splits in the peloton, and a group of 9 riders broke clear at the front of the race. And it was these riders who contested the second Motorola Solutions sprint. Leah Thomas of Bigler was first across the line, followed by Stina Borgli of the Norway national team and Krista Dobel-Hickok from Rally UHC Cycling. The peloton looked to catch the breakaway, but not before Brodie Chapman of Team Tibco SVB launched a solo attack. This effort saw her take the third sprint of the day and open up a 1:30 advantage over the rest of the field. Coming into the finish line, Chapman had been caught, and it all came down to a ferocious bunch sprint in front of a huge crowd waiting to welcome the riders home in Perth. And it was Team Tibco Silicon Valley Bank rider Alison Jackson who crossed the line first, just ahead of Emma White of Rally UHC. So, confirmation of the stage results today. Alison Jackson wins stage 2 of the Women's Tour of Scotland, with Emma White in second and Stina Borgli in third. That means overall, Alison Jackson of Tibco Silicon Valley Bank becomes the first rider to wear the Baillie Gifford yellow jersey. Stage 3 would start and end in Edinburgh's Holyrood Park, contesting 3 sprints and 4 Queen of the Mountains along the way. A 3-lap loop of the park, including a climb up Arthur's Seat, would bring the first Women's Tour of Scotland to a conclusion. As the 83 riders rolled out for the final stage of the Women's Tour of Scotland, with 117 kilometres ahead of them, exactly as forecast, the rain began to fall. The 4 jerseys were at the front of the race, and Scotland's finest Katie Archibald was also in the mix as the peloton reached kilometre 0 and racing began. There was no let-up in the rain, which saw some standing water on the roads, but hardy souls still braved the Scottish weather to show their support. The wet conditions and greasy roads saw spills aplenty as a number of riders crashed at the back of the peloton. The first Motorola Solutions sprint came after 51.2 kilometres of racing in Innerleithen. Rebecca Durrell crossed the line first, while Leah Thomas, wearing the red jersey, picked up more points in second. The Mound was the first of 4 QOM climbs of the day after 70.4 kilometres raced. And once again, it was Bigler driving the pace, the Swiss team's train putting riders in difficulty at the back of the bunch. They were riding for Danish superstar Cecily Uttrup Ludwig, who was in the Event Scotland QOM jersey. And she delivered, picking up a maximum 8 points. And Sophie Doik, riding in memory of Belgian teammate Björg Lambrecht, who tragically lost his life at the Tour of Poland last week, attacked solo. Spurred on, she rolled through the second intermediate sprint in Bonnyrigg and built up an advantage of over 1:30. As the rain continued to hammer down, and Sophie Doik rode into Holyrood Park to a brilliant reception from the expectant crowds, crossing the finish line for the first time to pick up more points in the third and final intermediate sprint. Just under a minute behind, the peloton raced through, Leah Thomas ensuring the sprint's jersey was hers, crossing the line in second, while Slovenian national champion Eugenia Bujak claimed third. 3 laps and 3 QOM climbs of Queen's Drive awaited the riders. Inspired by a stellar team performance so far, Cecily Uttrup Ludwig surged to the summit on the first ascent of Queen's Drive, with multiple Norwegian national champion Vita Heine taking second, and Elise Shabby once again picking up points for Bigler. Uttrup Ludwig attacked solo, opening up an 11-second gap on the first of the 3 laps. On the second ascent, she claimed another 8 points, and with that, the Event Scotland Queen of the Mountains jersey. Julie van der Velde of Lotto Soudal Ladies scored 6 points, finishing second, and Elise Shabby claimed another 4 points. Her work done for the day, Uttrup Ludwig had emptied the tank, safe in the knowledge she had secured the Queen of the Mountains jersey. As the crowds cheered and banged the boards, the riders hurtled towards the line for a chance to become the first winner of this inaugural race. And after tireless work from her teammates on a filthy day in the saddle, it was the red jersey of Leah Thomas who crossed the line first after a brilliant lead out from Elise Shabby, who also finished second. A stunning day for Bigler. And so, confirmation of the stage results. Leah Thomas wins the third and final stage of the race with a powerful sprint finish. Teammate Elise Shabby crosses the line just behind her for a Bigler 1-2, and Stina Borgli of Norway picks up another third place. Alison Jackson, wearing the yellow leader's jersey, finished fourth. Overall, it was all decided on the finish line in Hollywood Park. By virtue of winning the stage and time bonuses she picked up in her quest for the sprint's jersey, Bigler's Leah Thomas was crowned the first winner of this inaugural race. Stage 2 winner Alison Jackson, who just lost out in the final sprint, finished second, 5 seconds back, while courtesy of her 2 third places on each stage, Stina Borgli completed the podium in third.
I have to say it was a full team effort, and I'm really glad to be representing Bigla here on the podium. It actually happened a little differently than we thought. We thought we could maybe go away solo to the finish line, and we played those cards. We tried to whittle down the peloton with the tough conditions and the wet and the hills, and it's special to be able to have this win. And it doesn't happen very often that you get to stand on the podium, and so it's something I really just want to kind of take a moment and soak in and enjoy.
That's it from this episode of the Voxwomen Cycling Show. Join us next time for more from the world of women's cycling.
Thanks for watching the Voxwomen Cycling Show. Tune in for next time.